The Active Self-Help Way Out of Depression. Hi, I'm Dr. David Purvis. I've recorded this CD as a way of giving you some information about CBT and then also orienting you to the active self-help approach to treating depression and anxiety. Now, as I record this section, there is a revolution going on in the provision of treatment for depression and anxiety in the UK. There's now an overwhelming belief that cognitive behaviour therapy, or CBT for short, is an effective treatment for depression and anxiety, and indeed many other psychological problems. Critics of this initiative have argued that CBT is not the only effective treatment for these problems, and they are right, but notwithstanding that, CBT has certain advantages over other approaches, and these are: firstly, CBT provides an easy-to-explain and understand model of how a problem comes into being, and that's really important. CBT provides an adequate treatment roadmap of how a problem can be reduced or removed. CBT is relatively easy to explain and doesn't require any leaps of imagination or faith on your part. Everything used clinically in CBT can be empirically tested. It means that you can test it for yourself and find it to be either true or false. And also CBT lends itself well to out-of-session or homework activity, stuff that you can continue to do on your own. Help yourself. Well, the self-help literature is vast and diverse on how people can help themselves. Self-help has traditionally been available from books, of which there are many thousands of titles. I have quite a few on my bookshelf right now. And I just looked through in preparation for this broadcast, and I found one of the earliest ones by a man called Emile Coué. He created a book called Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion. I think he is responsible for the aphorism, every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. The undeniable truth is that you can change your life, including treating your own mental health problems, given the right information, in the right way, at the right time. Now, I've already said that CBT is an effective treatment strategy, but it's commonly used with a therapist. What I want to do now is to show you how you can start to use the wisdom of CBT to help yourself. And to do that, I want to introduce you to a system I've developed called the Active Self-Help Approach. So, what is Active Self-Help? Well, the Active Self-Help Approach is something that I developed during the creation of the computerized cognitive behavior therapy package called Blues Be Gone. In the development of this package, I came upon the idea that people have an innate self-healing capacity. Humans have this in abundance, really, but it's generally under-recognized. And over the years, as I've been testing Blues Be Gone in research trials in the National Health Service, I found that using this program, about 60 to 70% of patients in the NHS could achieve remarkable clinical gains with hardly any additional human contact at all, somewhere between 30 to 60 minutes on average for a whole treatment. Many patients achieved recovery from depression and anxiety, and the research illustrates that probably 50 to 60% of the primary care patient population, that's people who would just go to their GP, can adequately treat themselves for these common mental health problems. So why isn't it done? Well, the answer to this conundrum seems to be that most people don't know that they can help themselves. Most doctors don't know that they can help themselves. Most psychiatrists or psychologists, for that matter, don't seem to be aware that people are quite able to help themselves if you give them the right help and guidance at the right time. You, as someone who might be interested in treating depression or anxiety or stress for that matter, do not normally possess enough of the psychological technology, the tools and strategies to make sufficient cognitive, emotional and behavioural changes to adequately change your experience. Therefore, the active self-help approach can be classified into what I have called the 3 N's of active self-help. First, you need to know what the problem is. Second, you need to know what to do about it. And third, you need to know how to do it. You may hold the idea that the problems you struggle with can be resolved through talking to someone, and that's absolutely fine, and it's probably quite accurate. Therapy is an effective treatment strategy. Human problems often develop over time rather than springing fully formed out of nowhere, and this long gestation process often makes it hard for you to see your problem with any clarity at all. You'll tend to see your life and your problems as part of an overall lived life, if you like. It's hard to stand apart from your problems and apply some of those useful and rational solutions that exist to resolving them. We understand many of the quite mechanical brain processes that contribute to depression and anxiety, and this gives many opportunities to help you to see that your problem can often be attributed to a brain process or a cognitive process that's gotten out of hand rather than any personal failing, although you may have interpreted it that way, as a personal failing, that is. If you feel you are failing, it's most likely to be because of a faulty brain process, one that's gotten out of control. We're thinking of things like all or nothing thinking, for instance, which means that things are either success or failure, without any shades of grey. Is there a perceptual bias that's playing a role in helping you to understand your situation? For instance, do you see things more negatively than others? Do you focus on emotions too much and negate your actual experience? There are many opportunities in your life to add a psychological overlay to your problems as you understand them. This gives you a practical perspective to your problem, and that gives you the first of the N's in the active self-help approach. That N is, you need to know what the problem is. And that brings us to the second step, or the second N, of what to do about it.